I always tell people the light was always at the end of the tunnel. It's just how long was that tunnel was the one I couldn't tell.
Oh no, you gotta say that again. Run that back. Run that back.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Athletic Aesthetic, the podcast. This is episode 16. I got my co-host here for his first official co-hosting episode, Trey Tipton. Everybody welcome him.
Come on.
Like add some like sound effects in there. Like,
Yeah. So class.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad to have you, join me on this journey. Like I said, like I had no idea going into this that it would lead to, what it would lead to. But here we are, man. I'm really excited. You're like a brother to me in my life now, and I'm super grateful to be, joining forces with you. And if you have anything good to say about me now, you can say it now. Yeah.
So
No, I'm
very glad to be here, man. I'm very, very excited to be a part of Athletic Aesthetic. I think it's one of the things where we're going to take over, man. It's bound to happen. It's been bound to happen for a long time now. God put us in position to be together as friends, bro, and as brothers. And I hope that we can make this thing the best thing that we could possibly make it, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we can make a big difference with this channel and with this group of people that, are part of this community now, not only just with the exhibit, but with the viewers and the subscribers. So if you're here, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please keep sharing this podcast. We have a really great episode today. We got David Allen, local here to Pittsburgh, fashion icon, works with celebrities, and, like you said, 90% of his clients are just normal, everyday people. 10% are celebrities, but the 10% that he has are some powerful people. So
powerful, man. Dudes from Ringgold, right in your area, man.
Yeah.
Played at Duquesne, football player, bro. Just all around good guy.
Yeah, what was your favorite part from the conversation?
Man, it's just knowing how passionate he is about moving forward. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, not too many people, once something happens to them, they get very scared of what they could do in the future. And you could tell that David never stopped, man. No matter what the situation that ride or came about, man, he just made sure to keep moving forward.
Yeah, just a good dude, man. Like, we met him for the first time at the exhibit. I know I did. And, just dude, like, radiates. Like, good energy when he comes into a room. He makes the room a better place. So the conversation was great. It was awesome. Another, housekeeping thing here that I want everybody to know about is, since we're joining forces to go back on that conversation, we decided to create an Instagram for the podcast. So go check that out at Athletic Aesthetic Pod on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, all that. We'll still host the YouTube channel here on the VC2 Art channel. But yeah, go follow that, show some love to that page. We're going to be showing some collabs on there or whatever. So definitely check that out.
Get on that. Don't waste time. You see it. You like our faces. Make sure you get your butt over there and follow us.
We'll be doing some giveaways on there, some merch giveaways, stuff like that to get everybody hyped up. Get us over to the, we got to grow that channel. So we've been able to grow this YouTube channel organically over the last year, and I think now, now's the time to launch an Instagram and make it official and
Let's
do all
do
that
it.
stuff. So, but yeah, man, super excited about today's episode. Was there anything else we were supposed to get into here in the intro?
I think there is something else. I don't know what it could be.
Is it?
Didn't you go to a sneaker show the other day?
Oh yeah, no, I was actually am I forgetting? Is that what I was supposed to do?
That's what I thought.
I wasn't even teeing you up to set me up on a transition there. I was literally is there something that I'm forgetting right now?
Hey man, listen.
Why don't we should do this in the outro though.
The outro?
So we did a sneaker swap event here in Pittsburgh. We'll be posting some content of that too. That's where I was going with this. To the new Instagram.
There you go.
We interviewed some people there. Good ass people.
We need
man.
bloopers, bro.
We'll get some bloopers.
We need bloopers.
We'll get some bloopers. But we raffled these kicks off. We'll show you after the interview. And we'll pick a winner.
Pick the winner.
Sound good? All right. Well, without further ado, this is episode 16, Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. Let's get it.
Boom.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to have you here. I feel like we met, at the exhibit, right? It was the first time we actually officially met in person. But yeah, I just want to, have you in here today, just kind of talk to you about some of the stuff you're doing, some of the stuff you have upcoming, and also just learn a little bit more about you as a person. Why you're passionate about fashion, where you got your start, all that stuff.
I'm sure Trey's, got a million questions. We FaceTimed last night, and I was like, just in talking to him, he's like, bro, I have so many questions for him. Like, it's like such an interesting dude.
You got some of them over there. Dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Pre-show
You guys already were meeting for like 15 minutes, so you guys probably already got like a little mini podcast in.
Some work out there, boy. Listen, we missed some good quality work right there. We had some good conversation.
For sure, for sure.
Well, thanks for coming in,
Of course,
man. Just to get things started here, maybe just give them just a little rundown of, where you're from, maybe like your upbringing, like what was that like, or sports, what was your involvement in that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Findlayville, Pennsylvania. So I went to Ringgold High School, and youngest of three. So I have an older brother, older sister, and played sports my whole life. Always super competitive with different things. Football was probably the longest sport that I played from a career standpoint, like 14, 15 years. As a young child, I always appreciated style and everything, but we didn't grow up very, very wealthy or anything. So, for me, style was what I put together at sporting events or, matching the stuff that you have going to school, elementary school, middle school, high school. But I always cared about presentation, what it looked like,
right.
How the fit was, all those things.
Yeah. Were you swagged out on the field too?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier
he had the
today.
wristbands. He had everything.
I always liked it, man. It was look good, feel good, play good in sports. And
I actually saw that on your website that you kind of used that terminology. You said look good, feel good, something else on the site. I forget what it was like.
I should know.
Do good. I think you actually said look good, feel good, do good on the site. I was like, okay, I see the little reference there.
Hard.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, man. The one thing about fashion, and it's powerful. And it's one of those things that it's such an investment into yourself that people don't realize the power or the value in it. And man, it could be the difference of getting a job, not getting a job, going on a date, getting a girl, getting, whatever it may be. The respect that you earn based off of the presentation that you have is so powerful. And that's one thing that we're trying to really change the culture and the mindset in Pittsburgh and throughout the country as we continue to expand. But Pittsburgh being home has never really been a fashion city,
right,
or a place known for fashion, especially from a men's standpoint. So we just try to build it up and be different and make it a little bit cool to want to dress up and play the part. But grew up in the South Hills, went to Duquesne University for college, played football for 2 years there.
So Duquesne, did you play, I'm trying to think, who's the rapper that played there? Did you play with Wale?
He played against us, but he was at Robert Morris.
Robert Morris, I thought he was at Duquesne. Okay.
Yeah, so he played 1 year at Robert Morris.
I figured it was probably around the same time.
Yeah, I think we're the same age. We're a year.
I just learned that he played. I didn't even know he played college football.
Yeah.
He was a dog of a running back, wasn't he?
I think he was a wide receiver for RMU. Yeah.
I can't even. Anyways.
Yeah, he played the year before I got to Duquesne,
Okay.
So I think he might be a year older than me or something
Gotcha.
like that. But yeah, I went to Duquesne, man. Played 2 years.
What did you play?
Strong safety. Okay. Yeah, I played football there, and free safety. Switched up, but didn't get along with the coaches. Realized I wasn't going to the NFL.
Hey, man, same team here.
You went to Duquesne?
No, just coaches and realizing you weren't going to the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm over here too.
I played D2 football at West Liberty.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah.
In West Virginia. Yeah. And so me and Trey have actually bonded over our, ability to look back and be like, we got shortchanged.
It's weird, man. I was convinced when I was younger that I loved working out and I love putting in the effort.
Yeah.
So all summer it was I'd be at the gym and then I'd go to the track, 3 hour, 4 hour workouts every single day. But then when I got to college, I just didn't take it serious. I was partying, I was drinking all the time.
Yeah.
I just didn't care, and I lost the love of
A lot of people do that when they get to the college, because high school, now you got NIL, but when we were in high school, it was for the love of the game. That's why you played. I'm not saying NIL takes that away, but there's a lot of money involved in it, so there's a lot of incentive to play. But when you go to college, it does become more. That's the first time it really became a business. And for me, it was a struggle too. It was like, I don't know, what did you go to school for?
Well, I was all over the place. I went to school for accounting, then finance, and then marketing. So I didn't do well in college. So as my grades kind of deteriorated, I had to kind of figure out hey, I can't do finance. I just struggled there. And then I went to accounting, failed accounting 5 times. So I knew I was like, I can't get into accounting.
Yeah.
So I was just, what can I get as a degree just to get out of school as easy and quickly as possible? And that's
Yeah.
You know, my sophomore year, I had a .4 and a .6.
Nice, dude.
And that's when I ended up quitting football after that because I was just like, yeah, it was bad.
You said a .4?
Yeah, 0.4 and a
Bro,
0.6.
listen, you just didn't show up.
I think you get 35 for enrolling in the classes, dude.
What I'm saying, like you just didn't go to class. Like I get it.
Yeah, it was brutal. That was because my freshman year I had like a 3.0 or something. I was like, all right, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I failed accounting. Man, I didn't go to class. I just played video games and partied and drank, and it was didn't even go to finals. Like it was just I didn't care.
So where'd your hunger come from?
I think my entire life, like I never really had somebody that I reported to or worked for that I felt like should have been in that role to tell me what to do in certain capacities. I just trust myself a lot, and I always believed in myself.
Right.
So I think a lot of it is it was just grandfathered into my DNA and who I am as a person. I don't know what triggered that. I know my pops was very disciplined. Like, you know, growing up as a child, there was no sleeping in. Like, if I went to a friend's house in middle school and I stayed up, or high school, stayed up all night and didn't go to sleep, like, we weren't allowed to take naps on the weekends. It was, you're up at 7 o'clock, 7:30, you're helping out with the yard work. Sunday, we got up, go to church, so that we had 8 a.m. church when I was younger, so it was like, it was super early.
Right.
And then when I'd see my dad out in the yard working, and I would feel guilty.
Dude, I had that same thing. I'd always have my dad was kind of like passive aggressive in that
Yeah.
nature, where he would just go outside and start working right outside my bedroom window, so it was super loud. And then I'd be like, what is he doing? You know, like weed whacking and stuff. And I'm like, bro, this dude is weed whacking the screen window, I feel like, because it's so loud. And, you know, then you'd get that like knock on your door from your mom, be like, you should really go help your dad. And you're like, I'm going. Like, I can hear, I can't sleep
I'm
now.
going.
So.
Yeah, it was weird. My dad, both my parents, man, very disciplined. I wouldn't be where I am without that initial structure. You know, my dad he's the type of dude that just works.
Right.
And that was something that I saw from an early age growing up, and I realized, like, you know, in the 90s, my dad lost his job 3 or 4 times, and you know, didn't realize it until I got older that my parents really worked their ass off to make ends meet.
Come on, man.
And you appreciate it far differently as you get older.
Right.
And I actually, fun fact is I'm buying my parents a car next week, so it's like, I went to lunch with them the other day, and like this was a goal of mine, was like, I want to be able, because they'll never spend money on it.
That's amazing, dude.
Thank you.
That's a dream of mine. That's awesome. I'm so
That was
happy.
the first thing I wanted to do once I kind of got to a level, was like, I want to really take care of them, because they'll never spend money. They want to save it. It's that generation. Right. And for me, it's like, hey, you did a good job with your 3 children. Let us handle ourselves and let us take care of you. So that was like something big for me. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, to the point of all this, like I wouldn't be doing a lot of this if I didn't have that discipline kind of built in. And at the same time, you have to take it and run with it too, because there's a lot of people that have that structure and they just kind of shit on it and don't do anything with it.
Yeah, very true.
So, you know, there's a mixture of just who I am, environment I grew up in, and I don't know where the
There's really no like cookie cutter way to get to success. Like you said, like some people have a strict upbringing and they revolt against that. Some people have a very religious upbringing and then they revolt against that. And I feel like there's just key moments in everybody's life that, you know, it really just drastically, however you respond to it, can change the whole trajectory of your life. Do you remember maybe like one of those moments where you were like, wow, my life's different now? Like,
I'm excited for this one, because we had this right before he came in. This is what we were trying to find out.
Yeah, man. You know, I've always felt that I had something that I should be doing more in my life. Didn't know what that path always was. Right. Middle school, high school, college. I just felt like my purpose was bigger than what I was always doing. There's not a specific moment that I've ever had where it was like, hey, this is it, or this is whatever. Because I'm not anywhere near where I want this to go, and we haven't built enough of a community around what we're trying to do. But, you know, I'm fortunate through this journey, you know, we've been able to have 2 people. I have a marketing agency as well, 2 full-time employees or teammates, business partners of mine, that now we're able to leave their corporate job and go do this full-time and do very well for themselves. You know, I have 3 other people on the suit side and the stylist side that have now been able to influence their lives and change their lives. And you know, we've donated about $250,000 to charities in the last
Come on,
5 years,
dude.
6 years.
Crazy.
So that was something from year one, even when we were broke and just grinding it out, was like we always wanted to take care of the community. So for us, it's like there's nothing really that one thing. I just wrapped up 2 movies with John Cena. We're doing all the in actual clothing for the in-movie portion.
Wow.
And I was telling Trey earlier, like that is equivalent as someone saying, hey man, I bought a suit off you. It was the best suit I ever bought. Or someone saying, hey man, like I've seen your stuff, like keep going, really cool stuff. So from that standpoint, it all touches differently.
Yeah.
And it all feels differently.
Right.
And it just makes me want to continue to push and help people. I've had people early on message me and tell me to kill myself on social media. I've had people say, hey, I've been following your journey and I've been able to face demons in my life. I've been able to face my mom. I had a gentleman that's probably in his mid-60s that messaged me a couple years ago and said, you allowed me to face demons with my mom and how she treated me as a child. And like I was able to confront her, and he's in his 60s, like, or he was probably in his 50s at the time. You know, so you just realize the psychology of human nature, and you get good, you get bad.
Yeah.
You just got to learn how to filter that out. But yeah, I mean, man, I'm just going with the flow right now.
Yeah, I mean, you really, I don't know if it's didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't know if you were about to ask something, but you really embody like something that I believe in truly is that like, you know, we have things we're passionate about, whether it's sports, whatever. And Trey was, you know, he has a piece of content that I always refer to that I love. And he talks about separating like your identity from like what you do. And like, you know, you're an athlete, but that's not all of you.
For sure.
And so like your fashion is what you're passionate about and your business and growing that, but it's really just your vehicle to connect to people and
100%.
better other people's lives. And you embody that more than, you know, anybody I've crossed paths with in the last
appreciate
year.
that,
So yeah, man, I'm really grateful to have you in here today. But yeah, so to go back though, I noticed you said you went to Ringgold. I went to Elizabeth Forward.
Okay,
I
yeah.
actually, I could throw a rock and hit Ringgold High School right now from where I live.
Okay.
So
I knew you
make
said
that-
you were back in the Valley area.
Yeah, so I'm like, I hear the drums when they're practicing Friday Night Lights, dude.
Yeah.
Joe Montana Stadium,
Yeah, for
dude.
sure, man. For sure.
The great Joe Montana. Montana.
Yeah, I got bad memories there though. My senior year, we lost that game, and that game is what kept us out of the playoffs my senior year.
Okay.
And there was like a really missed call that reason why we lost the game. So I have a little bit of a hatred. I can't go watch Ringgold games. Even though I live right next to them.
I cannot like you, can't be around you, don't want to see you.
Yeah,
Keeps
yeah.
it with you for a little
I'm
bit.
just gonna homeschool my kids.
So I'm curious, man, because you were talking about your parents and you were talking about how much they played a big role in your life, right? Were they your heroes growing up, and are they still considerably your heroes now?
Yeah, man. Everything that I have in my life is because of them. And it's because of us. Like I saw my parents sacrifice, like in every aspect of the word sacrifice for me and my siblings to never feel a certain way.
Right.
And to always do what was right.
Right.
And that was one thing I'm very, very appreciative and proud of. Like, it didn't matter if it was the hard thing to do, you always had to do the right thing. So it's just seeing that at such a young age, man, like that's the foundation of life. And what
Right.
we talked about with the community and trying to help other people,
Right.
if it wasn't for that just being beat into my mind over time and like, hey, you're allowed to make mistakes, but own up to it.
Right.
And that's something I try to carry into my adult life now more than ever is like I thrive on having difficult conversations.
Right.
Because if you're not capable of having a difficult conversation with me, we probably shouldn't even be in the same room together because we're humans and we
Right.
fuck up sometimes and that's okay.
Right.
But the only way to fix something is communication. And whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a business relationship, you're gonna have to have difficult conversations.
100%.
And I like that, you
Right.
know, and I enjoy that because it's hard and I was never good at this. Like this
Right.
was something that took me until probably the last 5-6 years to really want to face that.
Is this almost like you want to keep the people in your life?
100%.
And it's like, if I have this difficult conversation, there is a chance that they're gonna go.
Yeah.
And like you got to kind of get to a point where you're just okay with that and you make peace with that. And you know, but leading up to that, it can be very stressful depending on like who that relationship is or like what that like. There's like a lot of like potential for that relationship, and that's why you want to have that hard conversation. That's what makes it so difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, in business, I feel like, I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. I'm learning like difficult conversations, and like, I try to avoid them at all costs. But I'm learning I can't, you know,
100%.
and I'm getting more comfortable with having them.
Yeah, we just had this one movie I was doing for Cena. We just had the biggest mistake in company history, and it could have cost me everything. And so we did a movie where they needed a certain product, a certain suit, and they bought like 20 something of those suits, just the same one, repeat for stunts and all that stuff. And they the try-on was supposed to be on a Monday, and they started filming the Monday after. Well, we had a little hiccup on manufacturing, so we didn't get the product to him till that Wednesday, which now you're really cutting down in case there's an issue. Well, the suit somehow, man, our software never happened before. It pulled my measurements and made the suit
For Cena
out of my measurements. So he put the jacket on. I got the video right during the try-on, and he tells me in the video, essentially, he's like, "Hey, David, you know, I've been singing your praise," and the costume department's with him, and he's on a backdrop because it's the try-on section. He's like, "David, I was singing your praise," but he goes, "This video is probably going to be a little disturbing for you." And my stomach just dropped, and he puts the suit on, and he puts his arms together, and it just tears between the sleeves. And now I have to, you know, Monday's filming, and I don't know how the hell we're going to turn around all this. And then on top of that, not only are we not going to be able to make this, the shipping time is 5 or 6 days to get that product to him. But we kind of collectively got together, but to the difficult conversation portion, I had to get on Zoom call with the costume department, all these people that paid me a lot of money to provide this product. And at the end of the video, John and I have a really good relationship, but he basically said, you know, we start shooting in 5 days. He goes, "Challenge to you." Which was cool, right? But it didn't help the fact that I was like sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And we ended up problem solving. We cranked out all the product in about 2 days. And then I flew somebody from Thailand who had a visa to the States to bring in the product, and they had to bring it in through customs, which, yeah, so we there was also the chance that customs would stop.
Bro, I'm
it.
sweating thinking about this.
Yeah,
So let's talk about the mentality then, man, because you could tell that football player is still inside you,
for sure.
right? Because he said the challenge to you. And I know, although you're nervous, right, in your head you're like, "All right, bet."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like we're competitors.
Yeah.
And I always talk about in the sense of like the athlete never leaves, right? The opportunity to compete never leaves. Although we are doing different things in our lives, right? As soon as a challenge or an obstacle comes awry, right? Yeah. Why do athletes always find a way to be like, you know what, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always had such a high appreciation to anybody who had played a sport before or has continued to play sports, because if you put them in any realm of life, it's go time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, although it wasn't the best opportunity, man, you did everything you could to get it right.
Yeah.
And you were willing to go to the wit's end. If this is gonna break me, it's gonna have to break me before I quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's huge, man. And that's something that I commend you for.
Appreciate that.
But my second question is, and it's a very quick question, is to let all the younger viewers out there know, man, is like, how hard is it to do the right thing, and how important is it to do the hard thing to do the right thing?
How hard is it to do the right thing? Is once you build it into you, it's the easiest thing, because like there's not another option. There's just when you it comes with routine and it comes with practice.
Right.
But the right thing is always the right thing, and that's like you break it down that way. What are you gonna you're gonna salvage something temporarily because you don't do the right thing?
Right.
No, it's like, hey, you can't operate that way, because what happens is the minute you don't do what you're supposed to do, you lose trust. And I just, once you lose trust, especially with me, it's like how I operate with people is that every single person I run into, I give them 100% respect, okay? I'll never be disrespectful to anybody, but from if you're gonna associate with me standpoint, or if I'm gonna invest any time with you, you get 100% of my respect. If you do something to take that respect from 100 to 90, you've already fallen out of the category of me being able to trust you.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you just didn't simply make a mistake. I always keep certain things and see how people react around that. But the lack of respect or lack of whatever you get from me is a decision that you make by showing me how you maneuver.
Right.
Because I don't operate that way.
Right.
I always do everything the right way, respectfully, to take the high road in any situation. And that's just kind of how I live my life and how I built the business.
Right.
But the right way is always the right way. And that's something that I just don't think a lot of people understand the power in that. Because at the end of the day, for all of us, we have one thing, and that's our word, and
Right.
how we kind of move through life. And there are people that dislike me. I know that. a lot of people that don't know me may feel a certain way about me because of perception or whatever, but I'll do anything for anybody. I'll help anybody I possibly can. But I also am at a point in life where like not everybody gets my time, and you have to really pick and choose because time is very limited.
Right.
And I love nothing more than ever than helping somebody trying to build something, because I didn't have that in the beginning. So if I could connect to a young entrepreneur or somebody just battling something in life, and I could give them a half an hour and just kind of, hey, let's talk through this. Let's see what we could do to help. There's nothing better than that.
Right.
But I want to have the choice to do those things too.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. I'm just looking at like what we're doing here, and like I feel so I've like I said, I did some research. I watched like a podcast you did recently, and you talked about you got your start in you started doing ties.
Yeah. Yep.
And working with like country clubs and trying to sell them ties with the logos on it. Which, do you still have any of those?
I think I have some laying around somewhere.
I need to get an original David Allen tie.
I think I might have a couple laying around. I have to figure out where they would be, but I should save them just because it's part of the story.
Yeah, man, for sure. That'll be like in like a display case somewhere someday.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things for the future. My goal is, to take this to a $100 million business. We have a lot of cool stuff on the horizon in the growth of the business and where we're going directionally. We've had opportunity in the past for Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom. Things just didn't make sense at the time, and now the way business has evolved from the digital targeting standpoint, and the big box stores have shifted so much. We're looking at, I was telling you guys earlier, we're looking for our forever home in Pittsburgh. And then after that, we start kind of banging outside of Pittsburgh and go to Florida. We're going to look in Columbus, Ohio, and then also like Miami, Lauderdale-ish area are kind of the next two targets for what we're trying to do.
Nice. Well, we'll come down and we'll do a live podcast. We'll launch this down in Florida.
For
Just
sure.
let us know.
We'll
Just let
do it
us
in the
know.
winter months for you too. So
All on the pavement groups dying.
Thanks, Brian. Shout out.
Appreciate you, Brian. Hey, shout out to you.
no, but yeah, man, it's the future's bright. It's exciting right now, and man, just to be a part of something that every day you don't know what the hell is going to happen when you wake up, and there's new opportunities every day that kind of knock on the door. And I go to WrestleMania next week, which is in LA, so I get to connect with a lot of celebrities out there. We've built our bread through WWE early on.
Did you grow up watching like wrestling at all, or was it more so like later in life that
I didn't watch. I mean, as a kid until probably like 6th, 7th grade, I watched it. I was really big into it. And then I did not watch it until I started really getting into business with those guys. And but I don't watch it now either. It was just more of an awareness thing. And I haven't spent a ton of time with them. They reached out to me recently to do some style work for them and work with some of their other talent,
Right.
just purely from helping them kind of style their appearance and their image. But outside of that, man, we've been so busy. 90% of our business is non-celebrity.
Right.
But we are fortunate to have that 10%. It's a pretty big number of people
Right.
that we work with. So WWE was kind of the flagship that I got connected with when I started my business, and then just started navigating the reins of WWE and connecting, because there was an opportunity from an athlete, from a celebrity component of all that stuff. And then a big push in our world in the beginning was just gobble up as many celebrities as we could, because then it was a credibility standpoint.
Right.
And then once you get the credibility, then people trust you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our launch pad.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's easy to look at someone like yourself from the outside, maybe someone that just, has a normal job, and see someone chasing their dreams and their passions. But I think about that, and you look at someone like yourself, you're like, you've made it, you're there. But the truth is, like, I know, like, I'm, people look at me and say, like, I made it, I'm there, and I feel like I'm not even close to where, like, what is your business look like when it's $100 million business? Like, what is the big goal for you?
Yeah, I don't think it looks anything different than what we have right now. More locations, more people wearing our clothing, more people knowing about us. But at the end of the day, like, I'll never be where I want to go. It's just I'm the athlete that we talked about. Like, there's always work to do. And I think that keeps you grounded, and I think that keeps you humble to want to continue to be successful.
Right.
This, I always show people. So this was my bank account in 2017. Was negative $86.40. And then this one here, one of the girls that I work with, she's Lebanese, and we always talk about like.
Do you know any Arabic?
So I got that tattooed in Arabic on my arm.
Okay.
So I told her if she ever did 100,000 in 1 month in sales, I'd get 100,000 tattooed in Arabic on my arm.
She did 100,000.
So the opposite side of where I got that. Yeah. So, I got that on my body obviously because it was such an important, impactful time of my
Yeah,
life.
to go from negative to
Yeah, and this was a couple years ago too, and to be at a point, man, where business is going really well, and I could buy, a lot of things, and I could travel and come and go as I please.
Right.
It just I'm more motivated now, and I'm more protective of my finances now, and I want to help more people now than I ever have, and that's the blessing of it. So I just think. You get to a point where I'll never retire. I'll never stop doing this. I love this more than anything. And the fact of the matter is this is a vehicle to connect with really cool people. Guys like you guys that are trying to build stuff, guys that are already doing things, men and women, right? People in general, or charities that you can connect with. Steel City Impact, we donated money to their fashion show last year. One of our clients gave them $25,000. We gave them $11,000 on top of that. So it's like, to be able to make an impact in people's lives, or even just to inspire in the smallest way. But also, like, even you never know what somebody's going through, and if they could pick up something from you, how you move, how you act, how you navigate the world, and it makes them say, I'm not going to hurt myself today, or I'm going to work a little harder today. Right. This is only a hiccup in my life, or at the end of the day, the four of us sitting here, like. There's a lot of people that have it way worse than us. Right. Like, and you can always say that. There's always somebody that has worse than you do. And I think keeping that mentality keeps you really dialed in because we do have one opportunity at this. So, like, I'll be 40 in a couple years. Like, that's crazy to me to even say that.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's wild. But I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'm in a better situation than I've ever been. I'm able to help more people now than I ever have. And I want to, you just had a child a couple months ago.
Yes, I had my second child right before the exhibit in February.
Thought, yeah.
His birthday's January 7th.
Yeah.
Almost forgot it for a second. EC3.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter who's she'll be 4 this summer.
Good. So like that to me is like the pinnacle of life, right? Being able to take your mindset, what you've learned, the things you've experienced, and pass that on to somebody. And I don't have that yet, and that's my next, that's the real rewarding thing that I'm waiting for in my life, and I can't wait to. So I see that with you and the things that you've posted, and that drives me. That motivates me to want to be better and everything. Right. So it's cool to see that.
I mean, I'm humbled to say that, to hear you say that.
It makes me feel good.
I inspired David Allen.
No, truly.
Podcast over.
I mean it, man. It's like that's the definition of life, and being able to just appreciate this and share this with people. Like, none of this matters at the end of the day. I don't care about the car I drive, the house I walk into. Like, if it's just me.
My favorite picture from the exhibit is my daughter looking over the railing at like all the people and like the paintings and like because like for me, I mean, I grew up not a lot of money either. Same thing. Like I remember my dad passed away when I was 24, and he had like a blue collar job his whole life, but I never knew how much we struggled growing up. They just they got it done, and I had a good life. So I look at that but I'm grateful that I had the upbringing I had and like watched him, go to work at 3 a.m., pour concrete, work on job sites, come home exhausted, because he would always find time to encourage me to, never give up on my dreams, because he's like, you can always fall back on this. You can always do this. You can always do a trade or whatever. So why don't you I remember when he passed away and we were like burning old mail, like going through stuff, and I came through like some of his old pay stubs, and I like opened that up and I was like,
isn't that crazy though, bro? Like, you never realize on how much you actually struggled, you know what I'm saying, as a kid, because even when you struggle, you ain't know you were struggling. You just, I'm living my life, you know what I mean? But your parents are out here doing everything they can to provide for you. So that leads me to my next question, right? Because you say you have such a high belief in yourself. Was there ever a time where you didn't believe in David? Or didn't believe in David, David wasn't feeling his best?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times where that happens. Did I ever doubt myself that I couldn't make it work? No. Just there wasn't an option. So it's like, there's no need to even put that in your space. Like, there's not a single time where, even when this shit was happening, there wasn't a time where I was like, I'm not going to make it. I always tell people the light was always at the end of the tunnel. It's just how long was that tunnel was the one I couldn't tell.
Oh no, you gotta say that again. Run that back.
Yeah, man, it's that was the biggest analogy that I put it in. Now I'm at a point where I'm through the tunnel. Now it's just, what are you going to do with the city that you're trying to build? And that's kind of how I look at it from a standpoint of where you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Do you want to build a small little town, in a little suburb? Do you want to build one of the big metropolis areas and have this crazy city and do something really cool? Well, either of those are a win, because I've been able to build something that I like doing and I enjoy doing on a daily basis. I get to have fun with people that I like. I get to do business with people that I like. Not all money is good money, and I turn clients down because it's just the relationship just not make sense, doesn't make sense. So I think from that standpoint, it's like I never doubted it, even when things were hard, even when I did national debt relief on my personal credit cards and I was getting harassed by credit card collections. My credit was in the 500 range. I'd come home and my power was shut off, my gas was shut off, my water was shut off. I could have asked for help at that point, and I just chose not to because I didn't want to. It was my decision to put myself in that spot, so it was my decision to also get myself through that. And I always knew that if we just kept connecting the dots, things would work out for us.
Yeah.
Man, that's definitely respected from over here, man. And I know Vinny as well, being a young entrepreneur, right? We look for people who have done what we are trying to do, right? And then on top of that, we're trying to get to a specific level. And I commend you for not only not quitting, but for keep going forward, right?
Thank you, man.
Because there's times that we all go through where going forward is hard, right? It's not considered something that we always want to do, you know what I mean? Because the in front of us is so difficult, so hard, right? But when you find that mentality inside yourself and you're just like, there's nothing that's stopping me from getting what I want.
Yeah.
This could be hard, that's fine, that's all right.
Yeah.
But I'm not stopping until I get what I want.
Yeah.
And those are the people that we look for, you know what I mean, and try to be a part of their journey and part of their history. So that leads to my next question, man. Like, what do you see in the city that you want to see more of?
I think, kind of what we talked about earlier, man, I'd like to see more of a community with people. And I think we're struggling as a society and a country. Just there's an evolution happening right now between humanity, and I just wish there was more people and more resources for each other to kind of navigate the world that we live in. It's disheartening and stuff, but I think a lot of it's the negativity that the media just makes you look like it's worse than it really is.
Yeah.
Because I meet guys like you guys on a regular basis, just good human beings, and that's the vast majority of my experiences with people. And Pittsburgh's been tough to see the city kind of go in the direction that it's gone in the last couple of years, and with crimes increasing, and I travel so much, I see different cities on a day-to-day basis, and the opportunity here, it's hard, right? Pittsburgh is a very great city and a very safe city.
Right.
You can make an average income here or below average, and you could still make ends meet, which is fantastic. But also the opportunity on the upside, is there's not as much compared to other cities out there. But it's just a matter of what do you want to get out of your life and everything. But I wish there was more of a community here, which I think we're starting to see. There are guys like our age that are up kind of doing some different things like we talked about. And there's a lot of good human beings here. One thing I've been always trying to start is like putting together a collective with people, that it's a monthly, quarterly type thing, and but we really pour into each other and really help one another. I'm launching a consulting type business here in the near future, which I'm hoping that kind of grandfathers into building that community or kind of leading that community, because connecting people together is like the best part about life.
That was my biggest takeaway from the event, other than the picture I told you about with Veda, but like just the amount of people that came up to me and said, I've been following so-and-so on social media. We do the same thing in the same industry. We've never talked. And now we got this collab lined up. We're going to go shoot this thing or do this thing or work on this painting or project together. And like so many people came up to me afterwards, even like, it was just like, or like DM'd me and was like, dude, you've inspired me to pick up a paintbrush again, or like tap into this again. So like, just the connectivity of, seeing people in one room, because the potential there is honestly limitless. Like it's however far they want to take it, and being able to foster that, there's something special about that and bringing people together.
100%, man. And that's why I enjoy being a co-host to this guy over here, bro. Like, opportunity here is limitless, bro, because like you said, although there's not much going on here, who's going to be the first to help it make it come back? You know what I'm saying? And in my head, my only goal is, and you can ask him, I ask everybody the same question, do you believe you could change the world? Because me personally, bro, there's nothing in this world that can stop me from doing that.
For sure.
Not a single thing, not a single human, not a single person, nothing.
Yep.
And the reason why I believe that is, bro, it doesn't take much, just care.
Yeah.
Just by us connecting right now, you just said that you want to build a coalition of people who just genuinely care, want to build something, right? Why not here?
Yeah.
Why not bring it back here? Eventually, we'll all have more celebrity friends, more people to see that never even been to Pittsburgh, never even considered Pittsburgh. Why not?
Yeah, and to your point, it starts with caring, and that like empathy is such an amazing characteristic. Now you got to be careful because people take advantage of that empathy for sure.
Sure, dude.
I just was in a situation that was a very difficult experience to realize just being taken advantage of in some capacity. But you realize you don't want to change who you are. You just want to be more alert moving forward.
100%.
Because I don't ever want to not be good to people, and I don't ever want to not help people. If you get taken advantage of, okay, like
I see you.
I'll learn from that. I'm going to continue to go that way, and I'm going to continue to help people, and I'm going to. You've now unlocked it to make me even better to people in the future. You know, through that and through that experience that I had, kicked my ass, and it hurt real bad. But it also made me say, all right, be more protective, be more intelligent, more aware of situations. And the minute you see somebody acting or navigating the way that you don't, just cut it and move on, which is how it should be. And that's been my rule of thumb.
Right.
And this situation in particular was one of the few that got through the cracks and ended up kind of infiltrating things. And but it was the best thing that could have happened, especially at the trajectory we're on right now. And I got to be a little bit more cautious with people I kind of interact with. I had a girl, I had to sue, she wrote a book about me. So yeah, this was, I found out about it a couple months ago, and she wrote a book about a year and a half ago about me. And never met the girl, never saw the girl in my life. She talked about us hooking up and stuff, and yeah, it was a really wild experience.
You got fans like that. I don't want no smoke with that. Right now. Hey,
yeah, it was wild.
Stay over there, shorty. Stay way
I didn't even think about that as a possibility.
Like,
I read a whole book. I can't even finish my own book, let alone a fictional one about something.
You wrote a full fictional book
Yeah,
about me?
It was wild because that was an experience, like I felt violated,
Right.
like extremely violated. And she didn't mention my name, but she described me to a T, talked about the clients that I worked with, and that's when I had to get legal involved. And we handled it pretty quickly. But yeah, man, it's like you realize there's people out there that are just leeches and parasites, and it's crazy because the fact that somebody lives their life in a capacity where they're trying to hurt somebody or trying to take advantage of someone is so far from who I am, and it doesn't register with me that people do that. It's crazy.
It's a very deep hurt that someone has to go through in their life to get there, to want to hurt someone else and be like, I want you to feel this too.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty crazy. When
Well, and that point, man, where my mindset goes with those situations, or I don't spend a lot of time getting angry about people anymore. I shifted my mindset to I feel bad. Like that person, they're missing out on so many good things about life purely by the way that they navigate.
Right.
Because that person could have hit me up if they needed help in some capacity, and I would have given all the time in the world if they, if they needed something, but to try to do that to another human being and take advantage of them, and
It's not cool.
yeah, it's wild.
I'm working on a book like that about Trey.
There you go.
Listen, he tells me about it on the low, and then he acts like it's a joke. So I got a feeling it's really happening. You know what I mean?
It's coming out next week on Amazon.
Yeah, I said the guy played for Penn State for 7 years.
Then you picked the rival school.
That's how I switched it.
Listen, you
can't
can't pick
trace
the
it.
rival school. You should have said at least West Virginia. That's closer and relative.
I could have made it a D3 school.
That would make more sense. That would make more sense. We had a conversation the other day, and somebody had expressed that Division III was a lot like Division I. And I said, to what capacity? I said, I had to slow down.
Yeah.
I was very calm at first, Dave. It was like this. I was like this. I said, to what capacity? Like, you know? And again, I don't hate on nobody's structure and how they had to get down, man. But playing at a Division I sport, bro, you're damn near with the team 320 days of the year.
Of course, yeah.
Out of 365 days, you're with them 320. You know what I mean? And at that point, bro, it was just like that commitment.
Yeah,
There's some marriages don't even last that goddamn long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to do that for as long as I did that, bro, like I tried not to get fired up, man, but I'm a firecracker sometimes.
Yeah, I
man.
get it. Sometimes, man. Sometimes you get prodded enough where it's like, all right, I need to respectfully
You know what I
correct
mean?
the situation. Yeah.
I got a big heart. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I've tried sometimes. I got to calm myself down. I was telling him the other day. I was like, I really do get upset when people don't hit me back. Like I got to work on that. Like I actually got to work on that.
What, as far as just like responding?
Or just
Like,
anything. This man will be like he'll be so fired up. He'll be like, this dude didn't text me back for like 3 days, and I'm like, okay. And then like a week will go by, and I won't even hear anything. He'll be like, yeah, I had like 3 meetings with them, and like blah. And I'm like, bro, you were so worked up about this a week ago, and that dude just had to get back to you.
Dude, on my phone right now, I checked this morning. I have like 85 text messages I need to respond to.
But here's the messed up part. I'm just as bad as that person. I don't answer my phone.
Yeah.
Funny to hear him like say that, and then a week later he's like, "Yo, it's all handled. We're good." And I'm like, "You were so fired up about this."
Because I know when I'm irrational. You know what I mean? I know when I'm irrational.
No, I get. There are certain times where I get frustrated when I don't get a response at this, but then I just tell myself like, that person has shit going on.
Yeah.
They're busy. How I operate is I have priorities. Like, I respond to people in a priority where the relationship fits into my life or the situation. Now, it doesn't mean I don't respect or don't want to respond to somebody, but I have so much going on right now that I have to put that on the back burner until I'm ready to actually give that person my time and my energy in order to be respectful of their time.
Right.
And that's, people get a little frustrated with me on that standpoint, because it's human nature. Then you see me on Instagram doing stuff, but then I'm not responding to a text message, so people take that a little bit personal too. But there's a balance as well. Like, I'm a human as well. Like, I have my own life.
You got your own thing going on.
but I'll get back to you. And if I don't, we're good.
See, my biggest thing is, I'm going to ask you what type of person you are. Are you the type of person who reads a message but don't respond until you're ready to respond? Or do you leave it unread just so you don't let them know that you read it already?
It depends. It depends the person, the situation, what I have going on.
Right.
I miss a lot of messages because there's just so much, I'm navigating through a lot right now. But there are times where, I'll read it and I'll respond a week later.
Right.
Yeah.
There are times where I've always been known as somebody that responds very quickly.
Right.
When I was in medical sales, I had doctors that would email me 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd answer right away. And they had a joke about it that I would often respond before they hit send. But that's how I built the trust. And even in the
Right.
suits in the
Right.
beginning, there was never a missed text message.
Right.
Yeah.
But now physical capacity just doesn't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And if I get into it, you got to remember, they're just text messages, but they're also conversations.
Right.
That conversation could be 50 text messages back and forth,
Right.
which I don't have the time to do that
do
all
all
the
that,
time.
right.
So
Yeah.
you really got to step back in today's world and look at that.
Sometimes it's like if you kind of flip that, and like you said, you gotta understand maybe them not responding to me right now is more respectful because they want to give the conversation time.
Yeah.
And like I don't have that time, so I can shoot you a quick yeah sounds good, or like okay or thumbs up emoji or something. But like that's more disrespectful than like actually like putting it on unread and coming back to it and being like, all right, let me think through this. I'm gonna call you now and process through this.
My biggest problem is like when people set meetings and then don't follow through. You know what I mean?
As far as they just don't go?
They either don't show up.
Oh, you're done at that point.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So for
Yeah.
me, and this is going back to the
I hate
actual
when people are
conversation.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number one guy in the world for being late, by the way. Ladies and
He
gentlemen.
did roll in at 9:15.
Never will be a more late person than this
That's
guy.
why I sent him down to get you. The team was on time. I was up here working. We were getting the mics straight. We got some new mics today.
got it.
But no lie, man, like if you're going to do something and you say you're going to do it and you don't do it, then that's when it's a problem with me.
Yeah.
Like I typically don't care if you can't respond, you can't respond. I don't care, but we're all busy.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me you're going to do something and you don't do it, man, now I can't trust your word. And in certain realms, right? I set a meeting with somebody who's very famous to some degree, right? I don't care if you have any fame behind your name. I'm treating you as the man and the human that you are.
Yep.
If you do not follow up to those standards for yourself, right? How can I trust you to do any business?
Yeah.
Right? Because your fame's gonna run out.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
won't, if you miss a meeting with me, I'll never meet with you again. Like you have one shot with that. Unless there's a legit logical explanation
yeah.
that doesn't sound like bullshit.
Yeah.
But my time is valuable, your time is valuable.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't tolerate that, like
At all.
because then mentally you're already having a conversation in your head leading up to that meeting that you're preparing.
Right.
So you're now investing an hour before that meeting.
Yeah.
The time that you could have put other things in there that could have been a monetary thing, or if I just want to sit on my ass for
Yeah,
that
even
hour.
just your mental health of just relaxing.
Yeah.
You need that time, dude. So I totally agree. I mean, I'm like just getting into that. I feel like I'm in your like tie stage of
Yeah,
your career.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I see the light and I'm like heading there, but like I'm, I don't know what the city's gonna look like
Yeah.
yet that I'm building. So
Takes time,
same
man.
thing. I'm learning about time and like, like the worth of that time, you know? And
Yeah.
I used to say yes to every single project that came across my inbox, you know, and that got me here.
Yep.
So I'm not ungrateful for that, you know, but yeah, you do have to learn that if you're trying to pursue something eventually is like the value of your time.
For
And
sure.
that's the biggest thing for me, man. That's the only thing that it's about. It's because we only have so much time on this earth, right? So again, I'm not gonna waste your time. If I make a promise to you and I tell you something, I'm gonna be there 10 minutes, 15 minutes early. You know what I mean? That's just how I am.
Yeah.
So when I find people who don't take that serious within themselves, like you don't respond back. And it's simple stuff. Like it can never, if you say that you're too busy, just tell me you're too busy. I'm not even going to waste your time because I know you're too busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate that, bro. Go do your thing.
Yeah.
But it's the people who don't respect that because I'm also very busy. Because they're also expecting me to answer right now.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, let's be on the same communication then.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to waste my time, I'm not going to take the time to spend with you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I've learned this over time, man. Even just being through football and playing such a difficult thing to do, man. Because not everybody can be a football player. Some people think they can be, but until you put those pads on and go against another grown man, it's different.
Do you have any pictures of you in your playing days?
I have one picture from college. I was 228 pounds or something, so I was like 30 pounds heavier now.
You have to give that. I gotta get it. I
It's
gotta see
brutal.
what the swag looked like.
I gotta see
Brutal.
the swag.
Well, the college one was awful.
What kind of face mask were you rocking?
I had the double bar,
Knew
the
it.
bar on the
Okay,
side,
yeah, the shut on. Yeah.
But we my freshman year is when they made the big push to switch the helmets.
Okay.
Okay.
So they had like the first one that was like indented on the side. It was more of a longer helmet. I can't remember who the hell who made it.
It was either the Revo Speed or the DNA, the Shoot DNA.
It was the one that had like on the side it dropped down. I'll have to find it.
Yeah,
And
I'd love to see this, bro.
You gotta do the segment. We're with the
Oh,
stylist.
yeah.
You gotta customize your jersey.
yeah.
All right, so a segment we do on the episode with our guests, and we'll kind of maybe like wrap up with this. Is it's called the uniform segment. So it's spelled YOU, like
Yep.
uniform, real kind of
easy,
like
but
I like it. I like
it works, So we're gonna ask you like pick a team. Could be college. Maybe you do your alma mater, or you pick a pro team. We've had a ton of submissions for Steelers. We've done like some NFL, some college. We've done a bunch of
Give
pit
us something
teams.
different.
Whatever you're feeling, give us a look from helmet, jersey, pants, and then I'm gonna mock it up in the edit, and we'll bring it to life on the episode.
So just pick any of the.
So like, basically, give me a concept uniform from head to toe, and then like describe it to me, and I'm gonna mock it up.
Well, I've seen you. You just did one with Kenny Pickett for. Was
Yeah,
that the one with
I
the-
did a concept.
Piero- was
Yeah,
it
I put
the-
him in an Iron City uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who picked that one?
So that one was I just did that one. So I just got bored and just did that. But yeah, we've done, so like Benny Snell came on. He was
Yeah,
the
I saw
first
that.
guest that I had do this segment. And it went crazy. Like everyone was like either hating it or loving it. And then we did it with Wormley, Chris Wormley from the Steelers. He did like a Pirates mashup with Pirates Steelers. A bunch of your teammates from Pitt have done different Pitt uniforms, whatever. So I didn't know if like you could maybe give us like a little insight from the fashion industry, like if the Steelers or whatever team came to you and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, design our uniforms."
Yeah, for sure.
What are
Well,
we
I
looking
think my favorite stretch of uniforms, which they're starting to do, and even if we just did it for Duquesne, just because of being the alma mater, is like I like the black and the gray and like the muted tones that kind of all fade together. Oregon does a ton of the cool
Yes.
stuff with their uniforms.
Right.
But I think that would be probably my thing. Is it kind of like a Brooklyn Nets ish
Yeah.
/ Oregon type look to it?
Like the charcoal and black and like kind of.
And like a sleek silver, or
Okay.
I like simplicity that wows you.
No, are we still getting pops of like red and blue?
No, I think for this one we would just keep it all with,
all-
with the monogram colors from
Okay.
the 3 blends of that.
Helmets like that as well. Any like logos? What are we feeling on the side here?
Well, there was a lot of flack with the new Duquesne logo, with the new D that they
Yeah.
just changed. I actually think it's really cool.
Okay.
I like it a ton.
Okay.
So I like that a ton, and I even maybe throwing that on the center plate, the large plate there, and
So
having
like a patch in the front, like a hockey jersey patch.
instead
in
of
the
having the numbers there, doing
Okay.
that in the centerpiece would be kind
Okay,
of dope. And then
okay.
maybe you put the number at the C for a captain
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Number
We'll
up
put it
there.
on the arm or something.
Okay.
It'd be cool.
I like it,
I
dude.
like that too.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna,
we could sprinkle in actually. Let's do that because like my tattoos, they're all like black, but I have pop of color in there.
Yeah, do a
So
little-
maybe we could
some sort
actually
of
do
trim.
that with the trim in the red and the blue for Duquesne.
Okay.
So, but keep it super subtle, maybe around the D on the stomach plate or chest
Yeah.
plate or whatever, accent around the numbers or something.
Okay.
But it has to be very minimal
Very
color.
subtle. Okay.
Maybe even on the belt loops, we do something cool. Each belt loop's a different color or something. That'd be
I
kind of
like
crazy.
that.
Okay.
I like that.
So, now my question is, okay, and this is gonna be my last question, I promise. So now say David Allen does make it to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And you see all these athletes now walking down to the plane with their swag,
Yeah,
they
for
get
sure.
their photos. What is David Allen wearing for his swag to get on the plane? I gotta know what you walking down,
Yeah.
photo shoot, GQ, what we wearing?
So I've been fortunate to work with a handful of athletes that I've got to see the follow up from bomber jackets to suits, and I'm big in that standpoint of anything style. Like I don't always wear suits,
Okay.
but I do think there's nothing more powerful than a gentleman that is dressed like just with a very well tailored suit. But I don't like it to just be a traditional suit. I like to play around with colors. I like to
Right.
play around with the designs. One of my favorite looks that I've ever had is a pinstripe look, but doing the pant is the pinstripe and the jacket being a solid jacket to kind of accent the pins.
Okay.
And the shirt I have on is it's a mandarin collar, so they're a little bit different. They're a little bit
I see what you're saying.
I was looking at
non-traditional.
that. I like that.
Yeah, so I try to do some
The
different.
Asian culture, I love the
Yeah.
different, they definitely keep it tight up here. That's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I would probably roll with something like that with like a crazy, and I like the wide pinstripes more than ever too. I don't like the traditional thin ones.
Okay.
So doing more of a wide pin, some Chelsea boots or some shoes like this, and throwing on a solid jacket. And I always
Okay.
go with my glasses as a little bit of a touch. So-
Yeah.
Ooh, but you gotta put them on slow though, like this, just so they know you walking down the runway one time.
It's a fashion show, man. You gotta do it
feel
right.
Sure, dude.
So when's the next David Allen fashion show?
So we just announced yesterday. It's gonna be Saturday, October 14th. So we're trying to find a venue right now. We've done the last 3 outdoors. This year, I just don't want to deal with the headache of watching the damn weather.
Pittsburgh weather, dude.
It's brutal.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, we had one get canceled like an hour before the event in the past. It's
Pittsburgh, man.
yeah. And the one event planner we used ended up he stole our money and canceled the event about an hour before.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who it is or anything. Offline, I'll tell you guys.
Yeah, what to
but-
say, because I gotta know, because I don't want to stay
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, so that was brutal. And then the last 2, man, we did one on Grandview in 2019. We
Okay.
shut down Grandview, had 2 years off because of the pandemic, and then last year we did it at Bay 41 in Lawrenceville.
Okay.
This year we're looking to do it at 31st Street Studios where they do all the movies.
We actually looked into 31st Street when we were planning the
Oh
exhibit.
yeah.
We didn't tour it because they weren't available on that date, but it was on our list.
Yeah. They told us they can't promise this far out because obviously if a movie comes
Right.
in there. But yeah, so we're hoping that works out for us for this year's event. We're trying to figure it out, but we were going to do one on the Clemente Bridge before.
Okay.
We're
Ringgold
looking
High School on the 50-yard line.
right down Joe Montana Stadium. Yeah, so it's October 14th, where this year's going to be pretty crazy. We got a lot of celebrities already lined up to come in for it.
That's
so.
awesome, man.
That's huge, man. You bringing love back to the city, man. That's
Appreciate
something
you.
we just talked about. So I commend you for that for
Thank
sure,
you.
man.
Thank
For
you,
sure.
guys.
Yeah. Well, dude, this was great. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anything that you want to plug? I know you just plugged the show. Is there anything else upcoming with the brand you want people to look for? Or I know
Yeah.
you got the app and all that stuff. How, I guess maybe the question is, someone listening right now and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get a suit from you, maybe for a wedding or whatever?
Yeah, so a couple different things. From an update, we're launching next month. We launch stretch clothing. So it's called Flex Fabrics. It's all stretchy suits at a lower price point. So $4.99 for a suit. Pants are like 200.
I'm actually
joggers.
really excited. I've been
It's a cool
watching this.
product, man. Yeah, we're excited to get that launched. And then, hopefully signing this week on a new storefront for a 10-year lease for a new spot. Then we're
Congratulations
gonna
again.
thank you, man. And then we're gonna navigate towards Lauderdale, Tampa, Columbus. We're gonna kind of be branching all over the place at this point and just continue to do some stuff from a movie production standpoint and really get involved in higher end media and higher end production. So David Allen is my Allen is ALAN is all my Instagram. So David Allen Style. Facebook's just David Allen, and then davidallenclothing.com is our website. You can book anything on there. We have a self-measuring app which we developed last year. So basically, you set your phone on the table, you stand on this with your hands down, it takes 2 photos, and it measures you. So we got that developed about a year
dope.
ago. It's pretty
I was
crazy.
playing with it last night, and I actually I clicked on it and clicked next, and the next screen was literally I'm like laying in bed And I'm like, oh God, I hope this doesn't record me, because I'm like looking
Yeah,
at
it doesn't.
This is like real dark, like looking at my
Double
face.
check.
I was like, swipe off. Like, Dave's gonna see me messing around on his app. Like,
Yeah, we don't get any of the photos from a privacy standpoint. But yeah, man, the future's bright. I always just kind of end with like, if there's something somebody's chasing, just believe in yourself, surround yourself with the right human beings, just be around good people and always do what's right, always take the high road. And I always commend people for just working their ass off, because my life has completely changed in a short amount of time. 5 years is really the bread and butter of what we've kind of committed to. Been in business 13 years or so from an entrepreneurial standpoint, 7 for the clothing, but that first 5 and that 7 spend for clothing was crucial, and it just takes a lot of work.
Sure.
So I appreciate you guys. You guys are doing great stuff. So yeah, this was good.
thanks, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I'll look out for that car, man. When you got any extra, change laying around, you want to throw one my way, just let me know.
I got you covered.
I'll give you. Appreciate you, bro. For
Yeah,
real.
of course. Man.
Thank you so much.
guys.
Hey,
appreciate you so
man,
much,
for real.
man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this was great.
All right, man. What an episode! That was such a great conversation with David. I thoroughly enjoyed having him here in the studio, and I think he inspired us to do something here in the space. I'm really excited for he was hyped up about
Hype.
our little studio here.
And
so.
we ain't even at the full capacity just yet, man.
know,
He was
yeah.
very excited. Very
Yeah.
excited. But
yeah.
he's definitely it was a good time to have him here, man. Definitely showed us a lot of different things about him that I didn't know of.
Yeah,
You
he has
know what I
a
mean?
different perspective on things, and it's just that true entrepreneurial spirit that you have to be successful in that industry. He has it, and grateful for that, and hopefully it's not our last time working with him. So
Hopefully, I think
Yeah.
it's not though. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna come back and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Vinny Trey, let's
do it.
something."
Let's do
You know what I
it.
mean?
Yeah. Well, without further ado, man, we have the shoes here. So if you guys have been following, did a pair of custom shoes. Actually, Sneaker Swap reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, do some Pittsburgh themed shoe for a raffle to give away at the event." And I honestly I've done so many Steeler shoes, and there's
You were done with 'em.
so many variations of Steeler shoes I can do, and I'm happy to keep pumping them out for people to wear. But for a giveaway, I'm I got to do something new people get hyped about. You know
Right.
what I mean? They're kind of a good transition here because he's so involved in the wrestling community in WWE. So I was grew up a huge WWE fan. One of the Pittsburgh subculture things that the wrestling fans remember is that there was this Hell in a Cell match in the summer of 1998 between The Undertaker and Mankind. Took place right here in Pittsburgh.
Right here.
At the Civic Arena. If you're not familiar, it's the one where Mankind got choke slammed through the cage onto thumbtacks
And thought he
had,
died.
a hole in his lip. There's a whole documentary on how crazy that match was. You should go check that out. But I did a pair that commemorates that match. People were either really confused, they had never heard of that before, or
Right.
they were like, "Yo, this is the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life." So we did some raffle tickets. We're gonna pick a winner right here live on the show out of the fresh, new athletic aesthetic merch. Go cop some. bc2art.com/merch.
Here we go.
All right, you want to pick the winner?
You gotta get a drum roll first.
All right, go for it. Pick it out.
And the winner is
All right, read the name and we'll reach out to him. Can you read
The
it?
Closet Pittsburgh. You gotta work on your handwriting, dog. We gotta go back to grammar school, cuz. The Closet Pittsburgh.
No, dude, so people are gonna think this is freaking rigged. I'm pretty sure he put the event together.
Can't go. Good home.
No, he bought the tickets. I wanted to give that precursor there that most people that bought tickets are my boys. So no matter who won this event, people are like, "This shit's rigged, dude."
Listen, there's nothing you could do.
All your tickets are here. I'll give you we'll post each individual ticket on the. No, I'm just kidding. They're all here. Congrats to the Closet, man. I'll bring these over, give these to you. Appreciate you guys for entering. Thanks for having us at the event. Anything else before we sign off here today?
Man, it's Trey Tipton and VC2, man. We're coming to you live in 5, 4. Finish it. Just finish it.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's all you
This
had to
is
do.
the end.
Yeah, I know. Done.